we've just got hold of a Microshift sword group set. Could this be the best value group set we've ever tested? Welcome to First Look, the series where we check out new and interesting bits of tech and give you the rundown on the things that actually matter. Let's get into it. There's a couple of different versions of sword. The group set we have here is 1x10 speed, 11-48 cassette, and a 42 tooth chain set. Long cage derailleur, where the cage is specific to their 1x system. You can actually switch the cage out to a medium cage if you want it to be 2x. The derailleur includes a clutch to help keep your chain from flying all over the place and potentially coming off. Levers are ergonomically shaped with both brakes and gears at your fingertips. Both can be accessed from the drop handlebar position, and they have lever reach adjustment. So if you have small or big hands, you can adjust them to fit. The left shifter, there's two versions. The version we have here, which is just a brake lever, or one with a dropper button. Nice to see. This video is not sponsored by Microshift. We're just borrowing this group set from the UK distributor.
We are now going to weigh the group set. First up, cranks. 792 grams. Oh, it's a 165. Ooh. Ooh. The rear mech weighs 308 grams. Both shifters, 438 grams. Bear in mind, this is the 1x group set without a dropper shifter, so the left one is just brake. And the cassette with a lock ring, 414 grams. Basically everything is multiples of 400.
And that total is?
1,952
grams. This is literally a bike that I've won races on. And now look at the gearing on it. That is an absolute dinner plate dish. Like, gravel gearing is bonkers now, isn't it? It's basically a mountain bike, rear mech and cassette, with then a chainring on the front, which is somewhere in between a smaller, larger road one and a mountain bike one. This is a do-it-all group set. Like, we've just ridden over here and I haven't thought about having too many gears or too much range or not enough range. You can just ride it anywhere.
It's 10 speed, so are the gaps in between the cassette too big?
I didn't notice any issues with them. Got up the couple of climbs fine. Rode on the flat with you, dropped you once or twice.
It's because I got a puncher.
Well, you can use whatever excuse you want, Francis. You got dropped.
Pricing. As of right this second, I've managed to find this group set online for the very enticing price of £285. That's for the 1x system, shifters, mech, and rear cassette. Obviously, that's missing a few parts. You're going to have to find your own rotors, your own chain, bottom bracket, and brake calipers. Despite what I just found online, the Microshift parts come in at the following RRPs. The chain set is £99.99, and that's for 1x or 2x. The rear derailleur is £74.99. The right shifter is £89.99. The left brake lever is £64.99, and the cassette is £41.99 to £64.99, depending on the materials you go for. If you want the left-hand lever with the dropper remote, it's £84.99. If you're looking to go 2x and you want a front derailleur, then it's £24.99, and the 2x left shifter is £89.99. It's a lot of 99p's. One fantastic feature that this group set has is you can shift multiple gears up with one swoosh of the lever. If you push this lever really far around, you can do 3 gears at once. Obviously, you then got to go back down with individual presses. I have a feeling some people, if you have smaller hands, are going to struggle with that movement. Even shifting 1 gear is quite a long reach, like you have to push the lever quite far to make it happen. So 3, it really is a stretch. I haven't had any problems. Me and Jimmy both have average to large size hands. At least there's a lever reach adjustment, which will make things easier for some people with smaller hands, but it's something to consider. Maybe test it out in a shop if you've got one of these available to ride before you buy it. So who is this for? Definitely someone who wants ease of use. It's fully mechanical, so it should be easy to adjust and service. It's got good gear range, it's got lever reach adjustment, it has a clutch in the rear mech. Basically, it's packed full of features that you wouldn't normally see at this price point. It might be for someone who does a lot of miles and doesn't want to keep spending loads of money on 12-speed chains. There's 10-speed parts, much cheaper.
It definitely looks better than a £300 group set. Like, if this was 800 quid, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can believe it. Until you look at the shifter and then it starts to look a bit more like the price point that it is. The mech and the cranks look, the shifter looks not yay or just cool.
You okay?
Yes.
If you're looking at Microshift sword, there's a few other similar group sets on the market that you might want to consider. SRAM Apex Mechanical, although I feel this one might be being phased out due to the online stock situation, it's a fantastic group set. It's one by, pretty affordable, easy to service. I rode this group set the length of Malaysia and it was just perfect. You may also want to check out Sensor SRX Pro. This would be an AliExpress order. I had a good experience with the Sensor Pro Road group set a couple of years ago, but the warranty and the quality of customer service is less clear. So I would do this at your own risk.
The shift is clean, it's precise, it's been set up really well, so it's all just like hitting the mark where I want it to and expect it to. Of course, it doesn't have a front mech, which simplifies things a bit. The group set was sent to us by the distributor Ison. They did send us some TRP Spire calipers for disc brake, but they sent us the post-mount calipers, which we couldn't put on any of the typical Cade bikes. So I've pulled out my rim brake Moss bike for the occasion, and it is pulling the calipers as you would expect. They claim in their marketing that they've moved the pivot point so that the brake strength is strong, and it appears to function as I would hope. It is your old AliExpress front brake caliper, yes, with filed down pads so that it would fit. Do you remember us doing that a long time ago?
And it's still good.
And it's actually working, yeah. And the rear brake is a type of rear brake that you despise, because it's mounted underneath, and it also functions really well. I've pulled some lovely skids already today.
Seeing as this is only a partial group set, I thought I would include a section of the video where I run through the parts that I would use to complete it. 10-speed chains are easily found, and there's loads of different brands. Shimano, very reliable, and KMC, one of my favorites. Obviously, I would choose the gold one. Bottom bracket, I'd look at Shimano, the MT501. It's affordable, loads of options online at a few different price points. Brake calipers, I would actually upgrade from the version that we have here, the Spires. I'd go for TRP Higher Roads. I'm a massive fanboy when it comes to these calipers. Those are the ones that I paired with the SRAM Apex when I did the Malaysia trip, and they have a small hydraulic reservoir inside the caliper, so despite being cable actuated, they're a lot more powerful. Definitely worth checking them out. I'd then probably put some Shimano rotors on. You can get the 105 ones for £22 online at the moment. They'll do the job. They'll be excellent. That is going to be a mint bike.
The size of the shifter does feel quite large, but not too large. The location of the buttons, the upshift does feel quite far away, but is manageable. If you had really small hands, I could imagine this shifter shape and position might be a bit challenging, but you do have lever adjustment, so you might be able to get it dialed in with that. We have now ridden and used and built bikes with loads of group sets, or what feels like a lot of group sets, outside of the big three. The big three being Shimano, SRAM, Campag. In every single case that I can think of, correct me if I'm wrong, Francis, there's felt like something about them isn't quite right, whether it be the finish or a bit of the product feels like it's going to snap, or in a couple of cases, things have actually broken. In my opinion, this is the first group set that we have used outside of those big three that actually feels legit. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. It's sturdy, it's strong, it works. It's a price point that I am fairly comfortable with. The only thing I want added to it is hydraulic shifters and brakes.
I disagree. I love that it is fully mechanical, and I think it's going to serve a lot of customers that don't want hydraulic parts and they want to be able to service some stuff themselves and they just want ease of use. I definitely want it at that price. I still want it. I really like Microshift as a brand, and all of the group sets we've tested from them have been spot on. So, well done, Microshift. It's also called Sword, which is a great name.
There's a question. Is a lightsaber a sword?